Hey guys, it's a beautiful day to be Zen jacked, and here we are in the gym and we're doing a level 1 restorative routine. I'm doing this one before a workout, but I do the same routine every day. I try to get it done twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon, okay? There's magic movements, there's posture correction exercises, there's exercises to improve mobility and restore range of motion to the joints. There are corrective exercises to get rid of old injuries. We're doing the entire thing. You need it every day. Let's get started. You might have been sitting, you might have been driving, but you've definitely been stuck in a bad posture, so we're going to fix that. First exercise right here, we're taking nice deep breaths and rotating. My bottom hand is pushing my top hand up, look at that. My lower body's staying pretty still, my neck's staying, my head's staying pretty still, so it's forcing my neck to mobilize. Look at everything mobilizing in my hips, lower back, opening up my chest, taking big deep breaths. Here we go with an overhead reach. These are all magic movements, guys, because not only do they strengthen and open up your body, but they fix that posture. This is an attitude thing as well, guys. I'm setting my tone for the day. I'm setting my mental frequency, and you might as well have some affirmations going. You might as well have some gratitude thoughts going. You're feeling good about your life. You're counting up all your blessings, and you're setting the tone. Nice. So we're going to do some punches here. You know, you get that pain in your middle back, in your traps, in your shoulders, and you can't seem to get rid of it. Well, this is the stretch. Watch it from the side as I open up my shoulder blades. Breathing. And I'm going to go from opening up my shoulder blades to opening up my lats for a nice big side stretch. Look at that. Breathing. Deep breaths. Good. Getting into the first posture lift exercise, putting the staff against the wall, clasping it with both hands, and then pushing my hips forward, letting the elbows travel back, stretching my underarms, and I can reach here, look, bend and stretch, and then reach, gradually getting my arms backwards, stretching that chest, stretching those lats, and then keeping it in position, lifting up and pushing back, getting strong where you're normally weak, guys. When I can lift up and push back with power, I open up my chest, lengthen through the lats. Look what it does to my upper body posture. That's fixed it. Now we're going to fix lower body posture. And really, it begins with leg swings. Make sure you got plenty of room here. And I'm kicking as far forward and as far back as I can. Nothing fancy about this. Works your core too. I'm stretching my hamstrings, strengthening my hip flexors, and reminding myself that I'm not old yet. Because I tell you what, stiffness feels like age. And when I don't feel stiff, I don't feel old. And you know, guys, if you want to be Zen, you want to be peaceful, you want to be powerful, you have to move. That stillness, the sedentary, lack of oxygen, stiffness, man, it adds up. Makes you grouchy, more anxious than you normally would be. We're doing side kicks here. Make sure you're nice and balanced. That's what the staff is for. Kicking. It's that hip extension that often is hard for folks because, you know, you never do it. The muscles here, the adductors, get so tight. And I'm going to show you a beautiful exercise that goes from here. See, I'm strengthening the hips. I don't know, I get 20 or so, I don't really count. Just doing it until I feel like the areas open up. And here's a side slide. So I got my toes pointing forwards, getting into a nice stretch right here. You feel your groin open up. You can take an option here of stretching the lats, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to lunge and lunge the other way. Look at that stretch in my inner thigh. Wow, that frees up your hips too. And if I take my arms the opposite way, I get a nice stretch in the shoulder there too. I call these side slides, but you can make up your own name. It doesn't matter what you call them, as long as you do them. There we go. Really getting those hips strong. You see the common sense around this? Challenging yourself. Here's a warrior. Breathing deep. Feeling powerful. Feeling mobile. Challenging my body. Here we go. Getting those hamstrings going. Nice and long. Keeping my chest lifted. Changing sides. What a great routine. And really, this is the minimal routine. The staff routine is the minimal routine. It takes about 5 minutes when you get good at it. Okay? Don't do less than that. Okay, one of my favorite magic movements. And do you have tech neck? Because most people have some kind of turkey thing going on with their neck, and it leads to problems. So we've got to get our head back. We've got to get the sway back in our neck. So what are we going to do? We're going to get some strength back in our neck. And so by clasping my hands behind my head right here, and pushing my head back into my hands and opening up my shoulders, this is a great chest stretch anyway. But then I make a little bit of a squat, a little bit of a forward bend, pushing my head into my hands. And here's that victory squat movement. I'm going to get some strength in my legs, I'm going to get some mobility in my knees, but I'm going to get that neck back to strength and good posture. Big breaths. And you can think about all the things that you've overcome in your life which were a victory. Probably would be here all day. Let's pick 3 or 4. And you are a monster for overcoming it. That's the victory. How balanced are you? Do you do any balance exercises? Well, you should do. So I'm just going to help myself right here, just doing the simplest balance exercise. If I can hold that and not hold on to anything, that's the next level. That's great. If I can then hold my knee for the next level, that's fantastic. That's really your first and basic balance exercise. You can do it both sides, obviously. Fixing my eyes on one spot, breathing nice and smoothly, calmly. And this is going to help with your concentration and calm. And then we are going to add in my favorite balance yoga posture, the balancing stance, kicking the back leg as far back as you can, lifting the hands as high as you can, feeling the power in the lower back, focusing your eyes straight ahead. If I struggle with my balance, I'm going to use the wall. I'm going to change legs, starting right here. I don't need to go any further forward than this. And as I get stronger, I go lower. This is fine. Kicking up that back leg, feeling the strength in here. Strong through that middle back, finishing nice and tall. And that's the balancing stance. Like the downward dog. Pushing back hard. 3 or 4 deep breaths in the movement. Pushing the heels down, pressing your armpits down. Taking about 30 seconds in that movement, doing a plank into an upward dog. Really, you're just stretching out your abdomen there, lifting the chest, lengthening the lower abs. It's another magic movement. Beautiful. I'm going to do a really vital core exercise. Hip exercise right here with a side plank. Some strength here in the shoulders, some strength in the core. I'm just showing you guys these movements that you really can't do without, because there's nothing else that works it quite as directly. About 10 each of these. Nice. Rolling straight into the last couple of magic movements here. You know, there's a lot of yoga to come. In terms of stretching, yoga stretching and static stretching, recommend you do it after your workout. But here, look at how I'm opening up my shoulders, my chest. It's a great bicep stretch. You can use this between your bicep exercises to stretch them. And then it's always a good challenge to just sit tall and reach. Force yourself to be lifted and have some strength pressing overhead like that. Doesn't take that much. And this is one of my favorite movements. Sometimes I'll just do this in a flow with breath per movement. Head up, breath in, flat back, exhale, round the back, tuck the chin, breath in, cow, cat. Extend the breath, longer in. Longer out. Don't worry about how long it takes. Sometimes take your time a little bit more, but this as a nice shoulder, neck, back mobility exercise is just fantastic. And we're going to get our bands, get some fairly heavy resistance bands. We're going to do some Y raises right here with tension. Keeping the tension on the bands as much as possible. These positions right here, you're going to feel weak. And this is where we need to get strong. Then we're going to do some reverse presses, working the rotator cuffs, stabilizing the shoulders, getting everything strong, mobilized, healed. And then we're going to do the other side here and really stretch the chest, stretch those shoulders. We could do some rotator cuff movements here, going forwards, challenging all the little muscles, all the big muscles. Total body. See how I'm opening up the chest, the shoulders, the lats. You can do the same thing with the suspension straps right here. Just making sure that we're really opened up through the chest, doing some chest fly lunges here, big step. You can use heavy bands, you can use a stretching strap, you can use a rope. Look how it's opening up my chest, lengthening through the hip flexor. Oh, you can see that it's getting those arms back, lifting the shoulders, lifting the chest. That's pretty much a full restorative routine. You can see what it's done to my posture. My mind is elevated to a high vibration, feeling pretty darn good about myself. My whole body feels free of tension. That's the way you need to be after a level 1 restorative total body routine.